From the frozen tundras to the heart of the rainforest, our planet teems with life, each creature shaped by millennia of evolution. Today we embark on a different kind of journey, a journey back in time. Prepare to delve into the world of the ancient past, where we will uncover the stories behind 10 practices that, while considered normal then, send shivers down our spines today. In the heart of ancient Mesoamerica, amidst towering pyramids that seem to touch the sky, and vibrant city-states teeming with life, the Aztec civilization flourished, creating a complex society with rich traditions and beliefs. To appease their deities and ensure the continuation of the sun's journey across the sky, the Aztecs engaged in human sacrifice, a practice deeply woven into their spiritual and cultural fabric. Imagine the sights and sounds of an Aztec temple, a place of both reverence and fear. Incense smoke curls into the air, the rhythmic beat of drums reverberates through the stone courtyard, and a hush falls over the assembled crowd, all eyes fixed on the ritual about to unfold. At the summit, a sacrificial stone awaits, a chilling altar where life will be offered to appease the gods, ensuring the balance of the cosmos. The victims, often prisoners of war, were seen as emissaries to the gods, carrying the hopes and prayers of the Aztec people, a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Though abhorrent to our modern sensibilities, human sacrifice was a sacred duty, a vital thread in the fabric of their existence, believed to be essential for the prosperity and survival of their civilization. Across time and cultures, the human skull has held a particular fascination, regarded as the vessel of consciousness and life. In the ancient world, a radical practice emerged: trepanation. Imagine a world without painkillers or antiseptic, where illness was often attributed to malevolent spirits. Ancient healers, armed with rudimentary tools, performed trepanation, the act of drilling holes into the skull. The belief was that by creating an opening in the skull, they could release trapped spirits or relieve pressure. The consumption of human flesh, an act that evokes primal fear and revulsion, has cast a long shadow over human history. In the highlands of New Guinea, the four people believed that consuming the remains of their deceased kin was an act of profound love and respect. This form of endocannibalism was an integral part of their mourning rituals. However, not all instances of cannibalism were rooted in ritual. In times of extreme famine or environmental stress, some groups resorted to cannibalism as a last resort, driven by desperation. In the tapestry of human history, childhood, as we understand it today, is a relatively modern concept. The idea of a prolonged period of innocence and play, free from adult responsibilities, is something that has evolved over centuries. In ancient times, children were often seen as miniature adults, expected to contribute to the household and society from a very young age. Child marriage, a practice that continues to spark outrage today, was a societal norm in many ancient cultures. It was not just accepted, but often encouraged, as it was believed to strengthen familial ties and ensure the continuation of family lineage. These marriages were seen as strategic alliances, crucial for the survival and prosperity of families. Imagine a world where daughters were considered an asset, a means to forge alliances and secure economic stability. In many societies, the value of a daughter was measured by the alliances she could bring through marriage. This often meant that girls were married off at a very young age, sometimes even before they reached puberty. In such a world, childhood was often brief, and marriage, even at a young age, was seen as a natural progression. The concept of adolescence as a distinct phase of life was virtually non-existent. Young girls were thrust into adult roles and responsibilities, often with little regard for their personal well-being or consent. From the royal courts of ancient Egypt to the bustling marketplaces of Mesopotamia, child marriage was a common practice. It transcended social classes and was prevalent in both royal and common households. The practice was deeply ingrained in the social and economic fabric of these ancient civilizations. While the practice may seem abhorrent to us now, it's crucial to remember that our modern concepts of childhood and consent were largely absent in these ancient societies. The norms and values of the past were shaped by the needs and challenges of their times, and what we see as exploitation today was often viewed as a necessary part of life back then. In the annals of medicine, few practices have been as enduring and ultimately as misguided as bloodletting. For centuries, this procedure was considered a cornerstone of medical treatment. Imagine a world where illness was believed to be caused by an imbalance of humors. In this medical paradigm, an excess of blood was seen as a root cause of many diseases. Physicians, armed with lancets and leeches, drained blood from their patients, confident they were promoting healing. While bloodletting may have provided temporary relief in some cases, it often exacerbated illness, weakening the patient. It stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of medical dogma and the importance of questioning deeply held beliefs. In the heart of ancient Rome, the Colosseum stood as a monument to both human ingenuity and our capacity for cruelty. Within its walls, gladiators battled not for glory but for survival, their fates hanging in the balance. Imagine the deafening roar of the crowd as the gladiators marched into the arena. For the spectators, these games were a form of mass entertainment. But for the gladiators, many of whom were slaves or prisoners of war, the Colosseum was a stage for a desperate fight for survival. Gladiatorial combat offers a glimpse into the complexities of human nature, our capacity for both compassion and cruelty. In the annals of beauty standards, few practices have been as enduring and as ultimately damaging as footbinding in ancient China. For centuries, this tradition shaped the lives of countless women, their feet molded into unnatural shapes. Imagine a young girl subjected to an excruciating ritual, her feet bound tightly, the bones broken and reshaped. This was the reality for countless girls in ancient China, where small, delicate feet were prized as a symbol of femininity and social standing. The process, excruciatingly painful, began in childhood, the feet tightly bound with bandages. Footbinding serves as a stark reminder of the power of cultural norms and the enduring impact of beauty standards on the lives of women. In the arid deserts of ancient Egypt, death was not the end, but a transition, a journey into the afterlife. To ensure the deceased were properly equipped for this journey, the ancient Egyptians developed a sophisticated process of mummification. Imagine the hushed reverence of the embalming workshops where skilled artisans prepared the deceased for their journey into eternity. The body, washed with fragrant oils and cleansed with purifying waters, was treated with the utmost care. Organs were carefully removed and placed in canopic jars, while the heart was left in place. The body, desiccated with natron salts and wrapped in linen bandages, was laid to rest in an elaborate tomb, ready to embark on its eternal journey. In the annals of human history, punishment has often been as much about spectacle as it has been about retribution. The public nature of these events served multiple purposes, from deterring crime to reinforcing societal norms and hierarchies. Public executions, a gruesome form of entertainment, were once a common occurrence, drawing crowds eager to witness the ultimate penalty. These events were not just about the act of execution, but also about the communal experience, where people from all walks of life gathered to witness the grim spectacle. Imagine a public square, the air thick with anticipation, the crowd buzzing with a mix of morbid curiosity and a thirst for justice. The atmosphere was charged, a blend of fear, excitement, and a sense of moral righteousness. The condemned, often led through the streets in a procession designed to maximize humiliation, stood as a symbol of transgression. This journey was a final act of public shaming intended to strip the individual of dignity and serve as a stark warning to others. Methods of execution varied widely, from beheading to drawing and quartering. Each method carried its own set of horrors, designed to instill fear and demonstrate the consequences of defying the law. Public executions were carefully orchestrated events designed to reinforce the power dynamics of the time. Authorities used these spectacles to display their control and the futility of resistance, making it clear who held the power. While public executions may seem like a barbaric relic, they serve as a reminder of the enduring human fascination with violence and the dark side of our nature. These events, though brutal, reflect a complex interplay of justice, power, and societal norms that continue to intrigue and horrify us to this day. In the annals of human history, few chapters are as dark and disturbing as the era of witch hunts. Fueled by superstition, religious fervor, and social anxieties, these persecutions swept across continents. Imagine a world shrouded in superstition, where misfortune and illness were often attributed to the malevolent influence of witches. In this climate of fear, Accusations, often fueled by personal vendettas, could have deadly consequences. Those accused of witchcraft were subjected to horrific trials, their guilt or innocence determined through torture or absurd tests. The witch hunts serve as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the fragility of reason in the face of fear. As we emerge from the shadows of the past, the practices we've explored stand as stark reminders of the complexities of human nature. While we may recoil in horror at the thought of human sacrifice or gladiatorial combat, it's crucial to remember that these practices were products of their time. By studying the past, we gain a deeper understanding not only of our history but also of ourselves. We are reminded of the importance of critical thinking, the dangers of unchecked power, and the need to constantly reevaluate our own beliefs and assumptions.